Hi Pisces. Welcome to your mid-November reading. I want to do it on the day of the eclipse. Happy eclipse. It's a big, powerful day for you. All right. Sure. Let's do it that way. 6 of Cups, 9 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, 2 of Cups, the Empress, and the 5 of Cups. Bottom of the deck here, the 10 of Wands. Okay. Excuse me. Please drink something. Some topic or other. Most of you, this is romance. It feels like there's like a missing piece of information. Something has eluded you. Not like a missing piece of information, like a person who's doing something. Nothing like that. I don't mean like something salacious. I mean like you feel like there's some missing nugget that of truth or some profundity when it comes to the connections between people that you just don't understand. It's frustrating, right? Because you know you don't get it, but you don't know what you don't get. And it's been pretty hidden. Not your fault. You've been preoccupied. You know, you can only tackle what you know is there. And that's the thing about the 9 of Wands that's so incredibly frustrating, but also really hopeful when you get it. It's all right behind you, but what does it matter if it's there if you don't know? If you knew and you weren't utilizing it, well, that would be something because you would have the confidence of knowing that you have all these opportunities, all these abundances, all these boons behind you. But the 9 of Wands is about, excuse me, it's about attention. It's about where your attention goes and where your consciousness flows. Your attention is responsible for the way that you behave in the world. It's only the things that you're aware of that can inform your personality, your reactions, your way of being. So the 9 of Wands is very profound in that it's all the stuff about you that you don't know. It's coming out in every way. You see, it's in your subconscious. It's exhibiting in your consciousness all the time. Everyone around you can view it, can see it, can read it. Only you can't. Which is often the most frustrating part about our subconscious. It's actually very loud because it works in symbolism. It's very loud in all the ways that you don't realize. Your conscious mind kind of robs you of the ability to see how nuanced your subconscious is at getting its message across, which is all it wants. So you don't, you may consciously think you dress a certain way or you smell a certain way on some days, more fruity, more musky, whatever. You pick this perfume or that perfume. You choose to wear color or you choose to wear neutrals. You think that these are conscious choices that you're making, right? Your home is filled with plants or flowers or not. You have animals or not. You think these are conscious decisions. Just like you may believe that your life is the inevitable conclusion of an equation that you have written with your choices. And of course, we would like to believe that because there's a lot of accountability in that. We love that. Our life is a result of our choices. But then there's this energy. Yeah, our life is completely, we are accountable for our lives and it is made up of our choices, the ones we're aware of. But the 9 of Wands begs the question, what about the ones we're not aware of? What about those driving factors that have been there for so long and are imprinted so deep that, there's no way we could know they're there. What about those factors? What about the choices we make because we're driven by those hidden motivations, those hidden programmings that we don't know about ourselves? So it's not even like we're culpable, right? That's the kind of freeing thing about the conversation we're having. None of this is your fault. And I think that people kind of like to blame you for stuff because it's really no skin off your back. Like, I've noticed people try to blame Pisces for wild shit, and Pisces are like, yeah, okay, I'm going to swim away. Like, yeah, I know this guilt game. I do it much better than you do it. This is not affecting me at all. And plus, I didn't even do anything wrong. You're literally just like jumping on the bandwagon right now because you think that I can take it. And I can take it. Joke's on you. Because I'm not even going to let it. How's it going to stick to me? I'm a fish. I'm going to swim away. You can't put stuff on a fish's back. A fish is not a pack animal. A fish is not going to hold your grief and regret and your hurt. A Pisces is too busy processing their own grief and hurt of just the existential crisis of being alive. They don't have time to be your pack animal. You usually choose and prefer pack animals yourselves. So there's at least someone around that someone can push some weight on. Okay, regardless, beside the point. So here we are. We're only on the second card right now. Actually, we're talking about both these cards. So what does this produce in us as people? And what is it that this eclipse kind of brings up to you that you're like, oh, you realize some big truth when it comes to how you interact with people? You know, that feeling where you like think everything's going super good on a date, and then later like you hear from your friend that the person thought you were really awkward. You know, you've seen this happen like movies and TV shows where they completely misread a situation, or you like have some image of yourself of being a certain way when you're in a romantic setting or when you're in a potentially romantic setting. And then, like, it comes crashing down on you because that's not what's going on and that's not the feedback you're getting from the external. It very well could be something like that. But even if it seems surface at first, it's much deeper than that. Because whatever people pick up from us, especially in a romantic setting, our wounds and our programming, especially around the questions of value and worth, are on full display. We can't help it. It's to the point of being cringeworthy and embarrassing. Whatever our issue is, whatever our wound is, whatever we truly believe our value is, we can't help but scream it out in every way. How we're, like I said, all those unconscious, how we're dressed, what color we're wearing, the way we smell, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way our hair is, the way the little details are. So you're becoming conscious of things that then turn the light on to aspects of yourself that you just have never had access to. You never paid attention. Not you didn't have access to. No, you never paid attention. You didn't even know where to look. So there's two ways you can take this. You can take this information and go down into the depths. Oh my God, how embarrassing. I can't believe I've been like this for so long. Or, oh my God, have my nails always looked like that? Or, oh my God, has this or that always been? I can't believe I've been walking around all this time and nobody told me. Oh my God, do I really act like that? Oh my God, is that how my voice sounds? You can go there, which, you know, it's like typical spiral stuff. It'll last a couple of days. It'll exhaust you. You won't get anything out of it. You'll probably miss out on a lot of like responsibilities and deadlines and work you need to get done and social and familial obligations. And then you'll have to like kind of start from scratch and rebuild yourself again over what is essentially just really, really great step-by-step directions on how to become even doper. You can spiral about that if you want to. But really, all this eclipse is showing you are some crazy, crazy real truths that you need to see, and you need to adjust your image, your way of being, especially in a romantic setting, accordingly. You can spiral about it, but then after you're done spiraling, you have to change it anyway. So like the spiral is just not necessary. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to make you feel better. It's not going to change a damn thing. The only thing that's going to change something is you internalizing this information, not sublimating it, internalizing it, integrating it, and changing your behavior accordingly. If there's no change in behavior, there's no real learning. So if you feel the need to spiral, like, oh my God, I can't, has my hair always looked like that? Or have girls always thought this about me? Have guys always thought that about me? Oh my God, whatever it is, you can get stuck in that particular, what I was just doing, back and forth ping pong narrative with yourself between like, I'm a piece of shit, I'm not worth anything. Am I a piece of shit? Am I worth anything? I think I might be a piece of shit. I'm not worth anything. They're making me feel like a piece of shit. You can do that and just exacerbate every neural pathway along that programming that's obviously been there for a long time. And just, exacerbate everything, inflame everything, upset yourself, and then have to pick up the pieces a few days later and actually do what you could just do now. Have your moment of like, oh my God, that's so cringe. And then remember that every single fucking person around you is cringe in the same ways. Nobody is any less cringe than you. And if they think that, and if they are like in any way looking down on you for being human and having parts of yourself that you didn't know about, when they can go fuck themselves. You're a human being. You're allowed to be flawed. You're allowed to be unconscious about things. You're allowed to have a childhood full of programming that is not your fault, that you are just processing and dealing with as it comes up. How are you even supposed to tackle something if you don't know about it? So it's like anything related to the eclipse, if you try to make yourself feel bad about any of these revelations, like be strong with yourself, be disciplined. Like how can you be upset with yourself or feel guilty or feel embarrassed about something you didn't even know about? You couldn't have changed it. You couldn't have stopped it. There's no reason to be embarrassed. You were completely clueless. You didn't know. Now you know, so let's not get stuck in like, oh my God, how embarrassing. Yeah, whatever. Everybody's embarrassed. It's the eclipse. Welcome. And let's move straight to like, I'm dope because now I know these things and I'll just change them and I'll fix them. But this monster, man, this uncertainty, this lack of value, this regret, oh my God, I can't believe, it lurks. And you know why it lurks? Because what we're really talking about here is you finding out stuff that you could misinterpret to be like, see, I'm valueless. See, I'm worthless. It's very easy to misinterpret the truth that way. If you already feel like nothing, any truth or criticism that you're given, it's really, really easy to misinterpret it as like, see, I'm a piece of shit. See, this is because I'm nothing. The temptation is very strong. But that's just your old programming. It loves this. It's trying to eat this up. Your old programming is trying to use this information the eclipse gives you as fodder and food. You can feed it if you want to, or you can feed something new. That part is up to you. But first you got to get calm. First you got to get physically calm. You got to be, not inflamed. Take a salt bath. Drink some pineapple juice as long as you're not allergic. Drink lots of water. Get some salt in you. Get your electrochemical balance, sparking. Get yourself calm, collected. When you start to have these things dawn on you, whether it's from the outside or whether it's just you're realizing stuff, or you read something, or you see something and you can relate and you have some cathartic moment full of hubris, that's up to you. But let's remember to take care of our body as our minds are going through this, as our hearts are obviously purging and cleansing and coming to terms. Because what are we really talking about here? When we start talking about value and worth and how people really see you and how that could really upset you, but how it could also really elevate you, what we're actually talking about, if we kind of wind back to the core of all this comes back to neglect. I read something that said emotionally immature parents inevitably have children who suffer from emotional neglect. It's a very simple statement. It's very logical to the point of almost being absurd, but how incredibly profound. These are conversations not just about value and worth, not just about what persona you bring to the table in a relationship. It's not just about how you feel about yourself. It's about what you've been through, what you lived through. It's okay to have a little compassion and understanding for yourself and be able to acknowledge the gravity of how painful it can be to be as not just sensitive, but aware of the nuances between people to live as a Pisces, to live. That's it. How painful it can be to feel, and more importantly, to see as much as you can. So it's okay to be physically really nice to yourself right now. It's okay to take it super easy with these revelations, maybe even with some humor. That would be really nice. Oh my God, that's so cringe that I've been like that. Is that really what I'm like? Oh my God, yuck. But like laughing, you know, we're not into the self-hate anymore. There's nothing to hate. Nobody out here has this any more figured out than you do. Nobody is any less cringe than you. Mostly more, TBH. But of course, it's when you have so many things you want to accomplish and you have like these really long-term goals and you know you can do it, it's so painful to run into these mind barriers. And of course, even though Mars is retrograde and there's so many things we have to wait on, of course, the instinct is like just try to push through and be strong, you know? Like, you can do it. And it's not time for that. That'll just take away from what you've done so far. Don't try to push the physical. Actually work with this mental stuff that's coming up. Counterintuitively, it'll help with the stuff that you're actually trying to push. It'll help with that stuff. You have to reset yourself a little bit, Pisces. And I think the Taurus, it's a Taurus full moon, it's a lunar eclipse, and it's in conjunction with Uranus. I think it wants to reset you a little bit back into feeling your way through things. And I know that can be hard when feeling is hard, especially with the earth signs, the Tauruses. But you still need to feel, you know. If you have a Taurus in your life specifically that you feel, often the Taurus comes up in the Pisces reading. And I think it's when you guys go through like a dip. Sometimes the financial dips are very hard on Tauruses, and I've noticed that usually when Taurus has a financial dip, Pisces is usually riding high. The way out of this, again, is compassion. If you're only looking at what's growing and you're forgetting about what's been put in, you're doing a disservice to everyone. There is a way to excel and grow together, even if the contribution is unequal in actual brass tacks. There's more that goes into contribution, is what I mean. And that goes on for both sides. If you're dealing more with a Virgo energy and, well, you know, par for the course, you're confused. Power really is the only way out of the Virgo dilemma. Often people ask me, and I have been called on many occasions the Virgo whisperer. I have to say most of my clients are Virgos. It really is the only thing that works. Power somehow seems to reset the Virgo energy, and it reminds them who they are, because if they get too much attention, they become obnoxious and arrogant, and they know it themselves. It's not like I'm talking behind their back. You're on the same axis. You do it too. So the way to really quickly reset them is to take back your power and give them nothing. And when you starve them, they reset. And it can be very nice for a while. But then you end up back and having to play that game, because it's their mindset that puts you in this dynamic over and over again. And really the only way to escape it is to not play. And once you don't play for a while, you just want to run away. Whether it be a friend, a romantic partner, a coworker, it just gets to a point with Virgos when they push and pull you too much, when they play the energy give and take too much for attention, that you burn out. Anyone would, but especially you. Because you're like, this is so unnecessary. I'm a Pisces, you could just tell me. Like, tell Pisces that way of maneuvering is so odd, you know, because it's like, you could just tell me you want love. I'm right here to give you love, you know. So it's the moving away from these kind of situations. You really need to move away from them, but some of you are tied up fiscally or in a house with them or financially. Somehow you're tied up with them and you feel like your fortune or your good luck is tied up with them. Whatever it is, you need to find that power and that strength that you see in this person. You need to find it and see it in yourself. Sagittarius season will definitely help. It'll give you the words to be able to say what you need. But for many of you, Sag season becomes the launching pad. For this version of you that's like really comfortable with like all of you, because now you can see parts of you that you didn't before, and they're, you know, once you get over like the embarrassment or cringe factor or whatever we want to call it, and like the, yeah, you know, the red-cheeked moment, then you start to think about all the people who could see these things about you and you couldn't, and how they took advantage of you, and how they sweet talked you, maneuvered you, lied to you, all of the above. And then you're going to feel some rage, and then you're going to remember that you need to be building strong foundations and not raging right now. And because you're going to remember that, you're not going to do anything with this information that you've learned about anything in the past. No need. Instead, you will move confidently into the future. And confidently into leaving behind this person who didn't know all these things and was blind to themselves, and become the person of their dreams. How appropriate for Scorpio season. How very, very, very wonderful for you. And if you're dealing with an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Scorpio right now, this turning away from who you were pre, you know, being illuminated to yourself, and turning towards yourself is the best thing that you could do in any of those relationships. Turn away from them and turn towards yourself, and see how quickly the world comes chasing and following you. Don't give them a second thought. Move forward confidently, truthfully. Knowing all your truths, you get like addicted. Now you want to know more, and you start attracting more people who tell you more truths. Nice people, sophisticated people, smart people. And with these truths, you become braver, inshallah, bolder. It helps you in every area of your life. It's fantastic. Mashallah, it's fantastic. Just don't lose your nerve. Don't second guess yourself. Just keep going. Don't get sensitive and indulgent once this train takes off. Please, stay in your ego a little bit. Who else can you say that to? Stay in your ego a little bit, please. Okay? I love, love, love you.